Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. Not much is going on since yesterday. I actually glued the second part here in this boat. Now, the second part is a complement to the first part. The first part was the servo mount, and it's in there real nice and solid. This second piece is just a brace to hold up the top of this, but oftentimes I wind up putting a piece of Velcro on here and putting my receiver there. I don't like the receiver laying in the bottom of a boat because if there's water, that's where it's going to slosh. So oftentimes I'll put my receiver up in the top here. That's food for thought later on because this thing's all carbon. I'm going to have to run an antenna out of it somewhere. And everybody has me more and more and more convinced to do it up as a race boat. We shall see. I may or may not put the fins on it. I definitely will not put the horizontal wing if I'm building it as a speedster, but I could do the wings. We'll have to see how the weight works out. I've been toying around with some other things. Originally, my most recent thinking was I'm going to put the motor in flat and do an S-bend. But as I got to thinking, this is tall enough. I might be able to put a little tilt in the motor and have a really long stuffing tube with just a real shallow bend in it. There's a couple of advantages with having a long stuffing tube. One is when you're making strut adjustments, the amount of movement in the stuffing tube to accommodate that strut adjustment is minimal. You know, if the stuffing tube were this long and you move the strut a quarter of an inch, that would be a huge difference. But if the stuffing tube was 27 miles long, you move the strut a quarter inch, you wouldn't even know it. So, you know, another thought that crossed my mind, but as I think about it, I'm not going to do it because it would be just an awful lot of work. But if I were to build this thing strictly as a speedster, would I want this big flat surface facing the air? No, I'd want to cut this off and put a block of foam underneath it and then carbon fiber over that foam, sand it all out, and then dissolve the foam away. But that's just too much work. I'm going to leave it like this. That's what I was thinking. I'll put the wings on it, make it a speedster, and semi-scale. It sort of looks like the Budweiser, but I'm not going to put the effort into it that went into the American Dream. Paint it red, put some stickers on it, maybe the fins. Definitely do the little spoilers, the little flaps I was thinking about, because I really think this thing packs more air under it than it needs to. Remember, this thing was designed to run a Speed 400 or a 480 motor on round cells. So, and I think the round cells went in right up in here, and that's what gave you your balance. So, there you go, boys and girls. Just a little thinking and a little update on this. I got some clear on the tail feathers for the Spirit. All the Spirit needs is water cooling, the pickup. Somehow my standoff is missing. So the water pickup, and I should probably make some dedicated jam foam. You know, before I go, let's talk about jam foam. So many times I see somebody with a big boat, you know, a big, heavy 5, 6, 7 pound boat. and they put a handful of pool noodles in for flotation. Those pool noodles may not float that boat. You got to have enough foam for the flotation. Now, granted, the foam prevents water from getting in the hull and will make the whole hull lighter, but is it light enough? If I were king for a day, I would take all my components for the whole boat, weigh it, find out how much it weighs, and then find a rock that weighs the same amount as all the stuff in your boat. Tie a string to that rock and see if the foam you have will float it. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out.